So let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earning for a goal of elevation. Just passing the team over here might finish out bright future we can't vanish. It's E25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions, fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. And this will be our Newcastle match preview. Now, we're going to be joined by Pete from Loaded Mag and UFC shortly. I was literally just on his stream, so he's just wrapping up there. But to start off with, you know what? We might as well discuss yesterday's game. Now, I thought we were decent for large patches of the game, but my goodness me, that last half hour, we literally escaped. But let's break it down from the beginning. Obviously, starting lineup was the same as what was the game before? Tottenham. And you know what? I don't think there was much difference we can make, you know, but we started that game yesterday and we weren't good. We were not good at all. Fulham had lion's share of possession, clearly dominating possession of play, had some like half chances. I know Dean had to make a few saves. I wouldn't say like mad saves, but saves nonetheless. You know, and it really took a tactical tweak from Glasner, where instead of Lermo's the outlet from us as three centre backs, we made sure that it was Mark and we had a bit more joy. And then we started to play a lot better. Like we started to grow into the game. Pino was growing into the game. And I think, let me just talk on Pino quickly. I think what we've understood with Pino is that he thinks things, but I don't think everyone's on his wavelength. And obviously, look, we've not had much training. So I think hopefully once we get the Macclesfield game out of the way, we're going to have a bit more time, because I think once a week then, to get some training with these guys, get them into some sort of rhythm. But there's some good things that Yeremy Pino does that I just don't think that everyone else is clocking on. Granted, he does sometimes lose the ball a bit too much, or he tries to dribble when he shouldn't. There are aspects of the game that he can improve. But I think he played well yesterday. I think he had a very sound game. But obviously the telling point in that first half, and I want to say well done to the referee, because I think the incident before, I think Kevin went down first holding his head. So obviously the trainers came on and he had to leave the pitch and stuff. And then I believe it was Cuenca who then went down. Ref stopped the game, called the physio, and then he tried to get up and say, no, we don't need the physios. Like the ref said, no, you're having a physio. You made me blow the whistle to stop the game. And I think referees should have that discretion to continue doing that time and time again. And I think it will stop a lot of the play acting and stuff like that. So well done to the ref. And that was a position where we actually took credit. We took advantage of it. Where Kleiny's got down the right-hand side. His first touch weren't great, but what he did do is he still won the ball ahead of Anthony Robinson. Whipped in a very decent cross, very, very good cross. And Mateta gets back onto the goal scoring, gets a goal, back on the score sheet, that's what I meant to say. And it was like, at that time, we actually deserved the goal. We actually deserved the goal. And it obviously then leads into the second half, where there was a lot of like half chances. Devaney, if he takes a better touch, he could get a shot. And another opportunity, if he had tried to trust his right foot, he might be able to slot it into the open goal. Just so many little half chances that we weren't capitalizing on, you know. But I'm actually going to go through some comments, because there's actual aspects of the game that I do want to talk about based on the comments just quickly. So big up 3-star Reds, said Happy New Year, Palace fans from the Forest Madhouse. Millions spent on players, then don't play them before selling them 5 months later. Yeah, Caliamendo has gone to Frankfurt on loan with an option to buy, which is crazy, because he was signed for 25 million? You know, and I think James McAtee is another one who's being linked elsewhere as well. So please correct me if I'm wrong with that. One's 3-star. Brendan Johnson's a good addition, excellent addition. I'm so happy. Hopefully, he's as good as AJ. I think start him on Sunday. Just start him because we're lacking that outlet. We don't have an outlet with our forwards. Most of our forwards like to drop deep and get onto the ball. But apart from Ismaila Sarr and Daniel Munoz, who are both not available, we don't get that option going long. This is a great spot regarding substitutions. Now, I had said it yesterday. It did look as if Glasner was trying to make changes before Fulham scored, but even then, I think it could have happened 5-10 minutes earlier. Because I think there was about a 10-15 minute period in that second half where it was literally all Fulham before they scored, and we just needed to somehow do dark arts, maybe I don't know, time waste or just stop the flow or use a substitution to do that, because they were just picking up speed, and that's when we should have tried to kill that off with a substitution or something. We didn't, and they scored, and obviously then the two substitutes came on. But I agree with that, Durfez. Pino was Kamada-esque, both good in creation, but expecting our players to be positions they weren't in. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I said. I think the fact that we've had lack of training and stuff, this has definitely impacted, things that's happened with Pino. But yesterday was one of his better games. Where are we at? Would have loved to see Brennan back at Forest, but at least he's at a club now, just like at Forest, who have fans who appreciate him, unlike some of the fans at Spurs. Yeah, and I think the setup for us is a lot better than the setup for Spurs, because we're more than likely to play on the counter-attack. So I think he'll definitely benefit us, that style of play. Oh my gosh, Sosa. You know what? When everyone's back fit, Devaney needs to be our left wing back cover. We hopefully sign a right wing back. Sosa, look, if you can go. I know you want to play in the World Cup, so go somewhere else for the rest of the. He's bad. He's not good. He's not good. Big up Tim. Said feel that we'll have Johnson for the Newcastle game. Yeah, it's absolutely massive. It gives us a chance now, because like I said, and I think they've got a few defensive injuries as well. It just gives us an outlet, which we've been lacking. Reckless prediction, we'll see Johnson and Ty pairing up on the left regularly before the season's out. Sarr and Johnson as a double shot of pace is an exciting prospect. It definitely is. But even if it doesn't happen to be Sarr and Johnson, we've now got options. We could go Sarr Pino, we could go Johnson Pino, we could go Sarr Johnson, whatever it is, it's options, and that's what we need. We need squad depth. Remember, Romain Esse is likely to be going out on loan. I think Coventry City are heavily interested. Eddie Nketiah's out for 6 weeks, allegedly. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. So we need more bodies in our squad. Big up chairman, saying Johnson straight into the team. Excellent buy. I think it's an excellent buy. Excellent buy. I had no hope for both the Newcastle and Villa games. Granted, there's still going to be tough games, but just having an outlet gives me more hope that we can get something from both those games. Pino also plays like he sees an additional 5 players on the pitch that don't exist. I think those are the players that he expects to be moving. He tried to dummy to Mitch, and it just wasn't on. I don't think he checked his shoulder beforehand. It just went straight to the Newcastle player. But these are little things. I'm sure he'll get better at. For yesterday, time was excellent again. I have no idea what Tuchel's waiting for. In all honesty, Tuchel, just leave him alone. Let him just keep playing well for us, honestly. Can we end this now, please? Is Glasner leaving next summer? Should we believe Fairbrax or not? What's your take? It's a difficult one. It's so tough to because I personally think he's gone in the summer. That's just my personal outtake on it, because I think Parish hasn't backed him adequately in the last 2 summers. However, you could flip it and say, why would Johnson sign for us, not knowing who our manager is going to be next season? So is that the little bit of guarantee that if we get this window right, Glasgow might say, all right, cool, you know what? I'll give you another year. I don't know. But we just have to have our fingers crossed. Mr. Soso or Mr. BS lives up to the nickname Bad Corner plus foul in like 5 minutes. It's so crazy. Literally, that's his 2 contributions in 5 minutes. I think he even got booked as well. And Glasner, yep, Durf is saying that Glasner did admit to the board criticisms earlier in the season was a bit harsh. It's a positive. Yeah, it is positive, 100%. And I think it's the last one so far. Eddie saw West Ham were interested in got injured. Big up, James. You're funny. Johnson signing is a positive, but I don't see it being the thing that pushes Glasner to resign. Let's get a couple more signings over the line, then you reassess. Yeah, I don't think it's a one signing. I think we need 3. If we get 3, then I think we're all good. Glasner will 100% be staying. I've said this all along. Reading Glasner's latest reports, then you'll understand truly. Yeah, like I said, his recent comments has given us good positive vibes, to be honest, so fingers crossed. And looking forward to seeing Johnson play on Sunday. Absolutely. Right. Guys, in the chat, I want you to put in what our starting 11 should be on Sunday. Because I've got a bit of a hot take myself. I don't see it happening, but this is how I would go. Dean Henderson in goal. Nathaniel Klein, right wing back. I'll leave Lerma a centre back. Granted, we don't have a midfielder, but hear me out. So Lerma right centre back, Matson Sakwa centre back, Mark Gurhey left centre back, Tyreek Mitchell left wing back. The 2 in the middle, I would actually go Adam Wharton and Justin Devaney. Pino on the left, Johnson on the right, and Mateta up top. I just think I won't be surprised though if Campbell does start and Lerma goes in midfield. I won't be surprised at that. But I just felt like the balance we had with Lerma, Lacroix, and Gurhey was better than when it was Canvo, Lacroix, and Gurhey. Now, granted, Canvo might be better if he starts the game as opposed to coming off the bench. These are, we don't know. So we have to wait and see. So James has gone for everyone. So the only one is that Pino's been dropped in his one. So that'll be Johnson on the left, Devaney on the right, and Mateta up top. Freeze already said Jordan is definitely going into the FPL. He might as well. He might as well. He's a goal scorer. Also, Devaney goes right wing back for Durfez. So that's Lerma, Water, and then Johnson, Uche, and Pino. So dropping Mateta. I don't see that happening, to be honest. Tim has gone. Hendo, Kleiny, Canvo, Lacroix, Gurhey, Mitchell, Lerma, Wharton, Johnson, Pino, JP. Yeah, this is what I'm expecting to see on Sunday, to be honest. Virtually, Dino, Canvo, Lacroix, Gurhey, Mitchell, Lerma, Wharton, Devaney, right wing back, and then Pino, Uche, and Johnson. So who's missing out on this one? Klein and Mateta. So a lot of love for obviously Uche. It's a tough one. This Uche one's so difficult because if Glaston's come out and said that Mateta doesn't need surgery, they just keep playing him, to be honest. But I do like the chaos of Uche, and when he has started, I think he's played well. So I can see both sides. I could definitely see both sides. Big up Door. Guys going sub to Door on tour. He said, hope Johnson does well for Palace, but not against Forest. Hit like button, subscribe. Absolutely. That would be beautiful if he comes and scores at the City ground. That would be beautiful. This is actually something that we've got to expect as well. Brendan Johnson starting a bit. I don't think it would happen because we're short, but this could happen because Glasman sometimes likes to phase them in. Agree with that, Rich. I wouldn't mind seeing Uche start. Yeah, and I don't think a lot mind seeing him start. Uche's body, well, hasn't had a real chance. I agree with that. And Vert's also saying that Mateta needs a rest. He does. I think the only thing, though, is we've got Newcastle Sunday, Villa Wednesday, Macclesfield, where I think Uche will start. That's next week, Saturday. And then we don't have a game for a week. So I think Glasner's going for Newcastle and for Villa. I think he's going to attack it. And then the FA Cup game, he'll probably make changes. There. So, yeah. Let me just see if I can. Wonder if they're still. I reckon the Newcastle fans still alive on this stream. Nope. Let me just make sure. Doesn't. No, it's JC. We're doing something in the background. Anyway, but yeah, look. At the end of the day, I think Newcastle is going to be a very difficult game. When I was speaking to Pete when I was on his stream just before this, he did say that they've got a few players coming back and they should be on the bench. So Livramento should be back, Elanga should be back, Botman could be back. Back for them. So he did say there's quite a few players that could be back for them. But as it stands, I think they will still have Lewis Miley at right back. So Lewis Hall had a bit of a knock. So he's another one that they think should be okay. So, but he might be missing out 50-50 with Lewis Hall. But yeah, I think we could get at them defensively. It's just whether or not we're going to be good enough defensively ourselves to stop a striker like Voltemada, who's been unreal. JC, how's it going?
Yeah, all good. I thought it was 7:30, so I had dinner. So
no, I put it for 7 because the Newcastle fan said he's going out at 7:45 and whatnot. But the thing is not here yet. I think they're still live. I literally just came from his stream, started this. He said, "Yeah, I'll be with you shortly." I think they're still live. Hold on, loaded, Mike.
But yeah, all good.
Sweet.
Very excited for Brennan Johnson. I'll say that.
Yeah, what's your take on the signing? And would you start him Sunday?
The question is, was he signed by midday today? If he was signed midday today, that's how that he would be in the squad. And if he is in the squad, I'd start him.
Yeah,
because I can't have another game where we play Devaney up front. I'm not saying Devaney's a bad player. I just don't think that Devaney is someone that creates enough up front to start. I reckon he's one of those guys where if you're defending a 2-1 lead or a 1-0 lead, he's the perfect guy to bring on the pitch. He'll chase everything down. He'll do all the dirty work. He'll tackle from the front. He'll do what you need. But to start, he's just not creative enough, not good enough on the ball. Saying that, he could have had a few goals against Fulham, really, because he got himself in good situations. He just made the wrong decision. But I would start Brennan Johnson. His main position is just out wide on either flank. On Forest, mainly he played on the right wing. Tottenham, he mainly played on the right wing, but he also had a lot of cameos on the left wing as well, and even as a central striker sometimes. So he can play across the whole front three, which is something that us as a scouting department and us as a club have been trying to do for a long time. We've just been trying to buy a lot of people to just start over all fronts just in case of injuries. And, this is the perfect situation where, the person that he's come in to, I guess, give competition to or to replace, he's out on AFCON. So he's got a free run at his starting spot. So he's got an opportunity to come in and potentially take that spot from Sarr if he has a really, really, really good start. But overall, I think he brings a lot to Crystal Palace. I think how Ange Postecoglou played him at Tottenham is probably exactly how Glasner's going to want to play him. Pretty much like a second striker alongside Mateta. He's going to be running in behind, and he's going to be finishing. And he's going to be finishing goals from the back post. And Mitchell likes to overhit crosses. Good thing we've got someone to actually come at the back post now. Also, one thing that I think people just completely disregard is he's actually really good at dribbling and carrying the ball as well. I think the season where he was in the Championship with Nottingham Forest, obviously it is Championship football, but he was by far and away the person that had the most ball carries in the season. I think he averaged like 22. I think it was it. I think it was. I think he got like 28 successful take-ons in the league, and that's about one a game.
Yeah.
For how many games he actually played. So basically means he dribbled past someone. It's not he kicked it and ran. He actually dribbled past someone. So he's got a little bit of flair to him. And also it does fit the Palace mold in the way of it's a guy technically it's a guy from the Championship that we were looking at a few years ago. Basically, I know Dan's gonna say this, so I'll say it for him. For me, I think Johnson is a better Sarr. He's a little bit slower than Sarr, but he has got both feet and he can finish really well. And his left foot finishing is what's gonna. I think that will give him the leg up on Sarr because Sarr doesn't even kick the ball with his left foot. And I've seen some. I will admit I watched the video that Tottenham put out where it was every goal and assist that he made last season.
Yeah, I watched it too.
My guy, it's like 12 minutes long.
I was so happy.
I'm thinking all the goals that he's scoring is all the goals that
We're
we are just missing. And I think my dad showed me this tweet actually, and I thought it was hilarious. It was a Tottenham fan saying, "I'm so upset we sold Johnson. He's the best finisher at the club. That's one good thing. Twitter test, they're mad. 2, he said that he's the best finisher at the club, and they got some good players at Tottenham.
Yeah.
And 3, he said, all Tottenham fans put a bet on he's getting more GA than Kudus by the end of the year. And I'm thinking, you know what? That's a bet I could do, If he starts well, I'll do that bet.
Absolutely. And just to answer your initial question, he was registered in time. 30 minutes before the deadline.
Damn. And to be fair, this is probably the most decisive we've ever been with a signing as well. We've not haggled over the price. We've just gone, bang, I know other people want you. Here's what we're offering. We have got European football. Do you want to come? And we've gone, we've broken our transfer record. He signed a 4.5-year deal, which is a long contract.
Yeah.
To me, I wouldn't sign that deal if Glasner's going at the end of the season. I
was going to ask that question because for me, the fact that he actually went to speak to Glasner made me think, why would he need to do that if he's potentially leaving? Now, granted,
unless there's a mad relegation clause or release clause or something like
Don't
that.
get me wrong, I'm still think as it stands, Glasner's leaving. That's how I feel. But the intent of what we've just done with Johnson, the fact that he went to speak to Glasner and stuff, gives me that hope that to say he probably signed because Glasner might be staying on. Because otherwise he had other options, So yeah, I just hope we get the rest of the window right because
and also like looking at obviously it is just rumors and stuff, but from what stuff like Ed Aarons put out earlier, he said we're looking at that Zachariah guy that you was telling me about. We're looking at him, and there's solid interest in him. And he said that there's also an extremely ambitious move for Keith Smith still on the table. Are we going to break our transfer record again? And bear in mind, Ed Aarons, I know Ed, I don't know Ed Aarons too well. But, are we like, I don't think we have enough money to do that. Unless Parish has said, button the stand again. And just gone, keep Glasner, we don't need to stand.
Or he's just said, you know what, screw it, we'll take the 4-point deduction next year. spend.
I mean, here's another one. Woody Johnson.
That's a point.
I see Colin saying, where are you seeing this? If you look at Ed Aarons's latest article within the Brennan Johnson one, it's got a part in it where he's it talks about like other ambitious signings such as Smith and Unahi or Zachariah.
I just hope we just get it done early.
Mate,
yeah, obviously
if we see a window with Johnson, that right back, and Akeem Smith, that genuinely rivals Vieira's window, and I don't know what would be better. I really don't know.
Absolutely. Colin, I think I found the article. I'm just going to send it to you now. But yeah,
exactly. That's why I'm not too hopeful, but you know, I'm seeing it, and my copium is kicking in right now. So
no, absolutely. How do you see Sunday's game going though?
I don't know what is their form like. I haven't really checked Newcastle that much. I know I've got Walter Marder in my dream team, but and I know he's scoring loads. Yeah, and I know he's scoring loads. I haven't really checked them too much. So they lost to Newcastle. I mean, they lost to Man United. They beat Burnley. They drew with Chelsea. Beat Fulham. Lost to Sunderland. Drew with Tottenham. I mean, to be fair, they've been getting result. They beat Man City, but lost to Brentford.
They've been inconsistent.
They've got a stinker in them. They've lost to West Ham as well. I wouldn't say that's.
I wouldn't say that's maybe. So at least we can ask him about it. He just messaged me. He's on his way. Yeah, they've been very inconsistent. To be honest.
Yeah, I think to be fair, the main thing is Walter Marder. He is really good, and someone who always rips us a new one is Jacob Murphy. Is he injured?
Yeah. No, I don't think. But I don't think he's been playing.
Injuries, but Jacob Murphy always plays well against us. So who's injured for them? So Asula is injured. Burn is injured. Kraft is injured. Elanga is injured.
Yeah,
Lascelles is injured.
He could be back for this one.
Trippier potentially back. Spotman potentially back. Hull potentially back. Livramento potentially back. So pretty much their whole back line is there. I mean, if to be fair, if Murphy's not playing, I'd much rather play against Elanga.
Yeah, he's rapid, but the end product ain't. He's like an Adama Traore.
The fact that Murphy can whip a ball on a dime every time, that's a problem. And with Walter Marder, that's a problem. I'm really surprised they're not playing him. But,
it is.
You know, I don't watch Newcastle. We'll have to ask the Newcastle fans to see what's going on.
Yeah. One player that did give us major problems last season was Harvey Barnes. He's had a decent season as well. But then he was dropped for Gordon the last time around, I think. And the Newcastle fans are not happy with Gordon at the moment.
I mean, Gordon's a good player. But, you know, if he's not performing, he's not performing. And if Newcastle want to take that step to be an elite club, which have got the elite backing now, and they've got, you know, the money to do what they need to do, they've got some individuals, that they're going to have to be ruthless with some of their players. And if Gordon's not performing, they've got to replace him with someone else in the squad. And Harvey Barnes, even when he was at Leicester, he was unreal.
Absolutely. Warren's got a point here, actually. It's their home form's been very good. It's their away form that's let them down.
Where the other way around.
That's a good point. Who would your starting 11 be? Because we did that earlier.
Let me build it.
Why not?
Make it easy for you guys to see.
As you're doing, I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you who I had. So
we'll probably have to say. So Johnson is definitely in the squad, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go Henderson in goal with Gay. I think Richards is still injured, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not expecting him to play.
Gay, Lacroix, Lerma at the back. I would go. Oh, Klein at right back. Mitchell at left back. Don't need a Jaguar. I ain't got that kind of money. Midfield, I would go. Wharton's in there for me. Is Hughes's hamstring that bad that he can't play? That's one of the questions I want to know.
I think he's out.
Hughes is out.
Yeah, I think so. But
Let me check. Let me check preminjuries.com.
Yeah, Glasnow's press is tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes.
So I think we'll find out. But I'm expecting.
So preminjuries.com. I'm gonna assume that he's injured. All right. Now the question is, who actually is in our team that can play in midfield?
See, hear me. I've gone. I mean, a lot have gone. Canvo. What's that?
Did you go Rodney?
No. So the chat went Lerma in midfield and Canvo right centre back. I went Lerma right centre back and Devaney in midfield.
I mean, Devaney, when he played in midfield last game, he didn't look too bright. But I reckon that's because he didn't have good players around him. I mean, no disrespect to the academy, but I don't think that's the case. I would like to start Canvo right centre back, but if you saw how Glasnow was giving it to him during the last game we played and how the balance was just all over the place, I don't think I'd want to put Canvo on the same pitch as Walter Marder. Personally. So I reckon I'd probably follow you with that one. Let me just double check, because I would be half tempted to put Rodney in, because Rodney's tidy with the ball, just like popping the ball back and forth. And if he can just pop the ball to Wharton and then we can go from there, it might not be the end of the world. But I think for now we'll go Devaney.
Absolutely. Big up, Pete. How's it going?
How you going? Sorry, I ran a little bit late. Our show just finished, but great to be on. Great to be on with you guys.
No, thanks for your time. Thanks for your time and stuff. We're just kind of building what we think our starting 11 might look like.
Ooh.
And as I discussed on your stream just beforehand, we're very light on the ground.
Absolutely. I was saying to our lads, I'm genuinely surprised. Like, I didn't realize you had as many injuries as you've got at the moment, which is it's not always a good thing for Newcastle United, because as I mentioned to you on my stream, it's always been a case where we've had a lot of teams come to us with injuries or play against us with injuries, and it's kind of Newcastle fans rub their hands together and we've always been stung. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that you've got injuries coming to us, because we've had previous history where we're going to have to look to Boxing Day with Man United, and they ended up turning us over with a ridiculous injury list, which was just a horrible result for us. Horrible.
Absolutely. What's your thoughts on your season so far?
It's been a mixed bag, if I'm going to be honest with you. If you're looking at us in the Champions League, I think we're a point away of making it to the knockout stages, like the playoff rounds, which is like the knockout phases before the proper knockout phases start, which is better than we've already performed better than we did in the previous Champions League season from 2 years ago. So we've had a good solid start in the Champions League, so we're happy with that. We're in another Carabao Cup semi-final again. That's the third time in 4 years that we've reached the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. And it's just really the league that's kind of let us down. And it's so frustrating because we're only 4 points away from fifth, which is, for me, that's my aim. Forget Champions League, forget Carabao Cup. And look, I'd love a trophy, but my priority this season was to finish fifth. We needed to get back-to-back Champions Leagues. If we want to be the team that the club and the owners keep telling us that they want to be, which is fighting at the top table with that traditional top six, we have to put back-to-back Champions League seasons together. And so for me, the priority was finishing fifth. And we've had such a disappointing Premier League season, but we're still only 4 points off fifth spot, having had that bad a season. We've dropped so many points that we should never have. We've lost games against teams that have been absolutely dreadful, but we've just been worse. But we're still only 4 points away, and it's like we've still got half a season to put it right. So for as much of a mixed bag as it has been, I've still got a little bit of hope there that we can turn it around. And I'll be honest with you, 3 weeks ago, I had no hope. I thought we ain't getting Champions League. We're going to struggle to get European football. But then it's just weird how inconsistent this league's been, because we're 4 points away, a couple of wins, and we're back where we want to be. And it's a completely different conversation. So mixed bag's my word this season, for various different reasons, mate.
Sure. I mean, with that mixed bag of a season, there were loose rumours about, I don't know if it was actual rumours that it was going to happen, but I know fans weren't happy with Eddie Howe. Like, what's his state of play at the minute? And I think there was even a really, really, really loose rumour about Glasner.
Yeah, it's the Eddie Howe noise has got louder and louder since 2 years ago when we had the Champions League first season and we had all those injuries. We got to this time that season, and there were a lot of fans that weren't happy, and a lot of fans that, like I say, the fans started to question Eddie Howe at that point. That's never really gone away, even with the good form in the winning matches. There's been a small section of the fan base that have been against Eddie Howe, waited for him to lose, to jump out and go, not good enough, need a better manager, need to get him out, etc., etc., etc. And it's just grown. It went quiet back end of last season when we were winning the Carabao Cup and we got Champions League. They all went radio silent, but they've all become a lot louder now this season because of the indifferent start. And this is the loudest they've ever been, this section of the fan base. It's got bigger, it's grown. There's more fans now that want Eddie Howe to go. They don't want him in charge, and they've doubled down on that. So they're like, I want Eddie Howe out. They want him out. Me personally, I'm not in any bracket of this because for me, I'm just a realist. Eddie Howe's not going anywhere this season. He's not getting sacked. It doesn't matter if he loses the next 4 games. He's not getting sacked. He will stay this season. He's won us a trophy after 70 years. He's got his Champions League twice in 3 years. He is going to be given, at the very least by the ownership, the right to try and put this right between now and the end of the season. So he's not going anywhere. But you're going to hear the noise on social media, Eddie Howe out, this, that, and the other. Every time we lose a game or there's a bad performance, you're going to get it. We won against Burnley 3-1 at Turf Moor. It wasn't a pretty performance. It wasn't great performance by any means. But you celebrate your win normally as football fans, don't you, when you win a match? And it was all negativity on social media, questioning Eddie Howe, this, that, and the other. And it's just, that's what it's going to be now. In terms of Oliver Glasner, I've not really heard any noises on Oliver Glasner. It's a name that gets thrown about with a potential manager that will come in, but nobody ever really says it with any sort of conviction, if I'm going to be honest with you. The reality is, I've got no idea who would come in if Eddie Howe was to leave at the end of the season. No idea. I'm not sure Oliver Glasner would be the guy that they would go for, but that's just my opinion.
JC, if Howe was to go, and worst case scenario, Glasner was to leave us, would you take a manager like Eddie Howe at Palace?
Of course. He's done a brilliant job with a shoestring budget at Bournemouth, and that's essentially what he would have to do for us. I mean, it's only of this morning that we've actually broken our transfer record for the first time ever since Christian Benteke, and how many years ago was that? So we're known for not spending too much money and finding diamonds in the rough. So to be fair, I reckon that Eddie Howe will probably be one of the perfect managers for a team like us, really. But, you know, while we've got Oliver Glasner, we've got to be happy about it because he's probably the best manager we've ever had in our whole history. So, you know, I mean, if you put Glasner and Eddie Howe like 1-on-1, you'd say Glasner's probably the better manager of the two. So right now, I'd much rather keep Glasner. But if the worst was to happen, I wouldn't be upset with someone like Eddie Howe coming through the door because right now there's no one else really on the market, manager-wise.
Sure. Pete, why are you so inconsistent? Because you mentioned, like, for example, that Man United game where I'm sure you were definitely favourites and you didn't turn up, but you were going to turn up against Man City.
For me, it's the lack of quality in the final third, if I'm going to be honest with you. Our defensive stats are some of the best in the league. I think in terms of conceding chances or conceding goals, we're like the second best in the league. I think it's conceding chances. We're quite high up in terms of that. I think there's only Arsenal that's better than us that have got such a low rate of conceding chances. We are good. And actually, in terms of chances created and taken, we've been really, really unlucky. There's been like a number of games this season where we've conceded one chance and we've conceded a goal from it. It's like, and normally it's like you get like 3 or 4 or 5 of them a game, and you might concede one goal if you're lucky. Whereas we've had one major chance conceded.
I don't think you got any problem against us at the minute.
One of the big problems I would say, Rich, from that is having Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Now, Aaron Ramsdale came in because Pope got injured. He had a groin injury for 3 weeks. And when he came in, fans were calling for it. I was calling for it because we'd not seen anything of him. We didn't know what he was about. And his distribution was a big talking point. And his distribution is brilliant, Aaron Ramsdale's. But his shot stopping is not. It's nowhere near the level of Nick Pope. Nick Pope's one of the best shot stoppers, or up there, top 3 or 4 in the league for shot stopping. He's very, very good in his percentages. And we've missed it. We've absolutely missed it in those games in that 3.5, 4 weeks that he was out. So Nick Pope before his injury was one of the top in the goalkeeping list for clean sheets. So he's been a big miss. So him coming back in will definitely help those percentages run through. Defensively, we've not been bad at all. The midfield, I think, the midfield is the big area for me. The midfield 3 that was being talked about as one of the best in the Premier League last season has just not lived up to that billing this year. Joe Linton's been a big reason for that. Joe Linton I've been very critical of this season. He really hasn't been good. Even the back end of last season wasn't great either. And he had a really good game against Burnley. He was back to his best. So we're hoping that he's back in form now. But he really wasn't good, and he was letting down the other 2 midfielders. Sandro Tonali's been out of form the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's not been himself. He looks like he's not 100% fit. He was really unwell, and there was rumours that he had COVID around the time of sort of October into November. And it looks like he's not really recovered from that because he hasn't looked the same since. So we're hoping that he's just going to play his way back into fitness at some point. Bruno Guimaraes, on the other hand, has been absolutely clutch for Newcastle United. He's scored big goals in big moments for us. 6 goals already this season, and they've all been really important goals that he scored. So he's the one that's really turning the screw for us. But the main issue for us not winning matches is our wingers, if I'm going to be honest with you. Anthony Gordon, right, for as much as he gets lauded by England and people in the media, he has not been good for the last year, maybe even 18 months. After his first full season when he was brilliant, he just hasn't been at the same level, but he's still living off previous work. And I've questioned it and I've called it out so many times. Some of the chances he's been missing and skying over the bar has just been an utter disgrace. He'll run all day for you. He'll put a couple of decent crosses in, but ultimately for 90 minutes, he'll probably perform for 10 minutes of that 90. And that's been a huge problem for us. Jacob Murphy plays his best football at St. James's Park. So don't be surprised if he pulls out a masterclass on Sunday, because he performs at St. James's Park away from home. He can't hit a barn door.
He performs against Palace as well.
Well, I'm hoping that continues, mate. I'm going to be honest, JC. But
I'm not.
and Harvey Barnes has been really harshly treated, because Harvey Barnes has scored 9 goals this season, all in play. And he's been probably our most in-form winger. But because Gordon's back fit, he just gets bummed out onto the bench and gets a minute here, a minute there. He started on the right wing against Burnley, where he can't play right wing, and he knows that. The fans know that. The manager knows that. But it's almost like they have to play him because he's our most informed, so they just stick him there. And he's just been really harshly treated. So it's a shame, really, because for me, I'd be starting Barnes on the left and Murphy on the right. Alanga's been poor, but he's probably going to be on the bench on Sunday. So probably less spoken about him, the better. But yeah, I think that the wingers providing for the strikers and scoring themselves has been a massive issue. And the one guy that actually can do the business in Harvey Barnes is bummed out on the bench, and it's been really harsh. So that's been a big part of our problems. And then the strikers, Nick Voltemada, Joran Wieser, they put the ball away when they get given chances. They just don't get given them enough. So
yes. There is one player that I think we were looking at trying to get as well, which we get some really random links to Newcastle players for some reason. Lewis Miley, very talented player. He's had to fit in at right back lately, hasn't he? Like, how's he been getting on there?
This is definitely, although he's been in the first team for 3 years now, this is for me is almost his breakout season. He's played some games for Newcastle United. He's had some injuries in previous years, but this is the season where I've looked at him and gone, you're ready to play proper first team football for Newcastle United. There's a couple of games, Everton away, where we actually won 4-1. Tonali was put on the bench, which was a surprise to a lot of Newcastle fans, and Miley started, and Miley, he scored, he set up the goal from Malik Chow, and he was just generally just absolutely brilliant in that number 6 spot. And it really feels like he's kind of grabbing that opportunity and making it his own. He's a Geordie lad. He's from the area, come through the academy, but he's really, like, there was rumours that he was going to go to Ipswich on loan last season, in the summer. And there was talk that, with Palace and 1 or 2 other teams that he might go on loan to, and the club were looking at moving him on. For whatever reason, we kept him, but I'm so glad we did, because that boy can't go anywhere now. He has to stay and play for Newcastle United. And he's been playing right back the last 3 or 4 games, and he's not looked out of place at all. In fact, he's looked really good there, because we've only been playing with 3 defenders. We've only had 3 defenders fit for the last 3.5 weeks. So Lewis Hall, Fabian Shaw, Malik Chow, they've been our only fit defenders. So he's had to play right back, and he's been excellent there. We've not looked out of place at all. So massive credit to him. He's only 19, and he's got the future at his feet, if I'm being honest with you. He's a top young player.
Sure. JC, on the flip side, there are other loose links to a certain Joe Willock. What do you make of him, and how would he fit into our side if he's fit? Pun was intended there, by the way.
To be fair, I'm not really sure. I think that Joe Willock, he fits like the South London player that Crystal Palace like to go for, but I'm not really sure. How old is he? He is
25, I believe.
26.
Was he 26? Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I thought he was a little bit older than that. He was good at Arsenal. He had that really good spell at Newcastle where he was scoring loads of goals. Is he an attacking mid or a centre mid? I'm not really sure. So
Joe Willock, we obviously played midfield 3. Joe Willock plays on the left-hand side of that midfield 3. So he's a driving forward midfielder. So what you'll find from Joe Willock is he'll get the ball and he'll drive forward with it, and he'll cover long distances. He's quick. He's got a lot of pace to him. He's a good ball carrier, and he'll drive you up the pitch on that left-hand side. He links really well with our left winger as well, and as part of that role as a left of a midfield 3, he overlaps the left winger, and sometimes he'll connect with that left winger. So you'll see him pop up on the left wing and put balls into the box, or drive down the wing inside. He is that type of guy, and he's one that will try and get himself into the box too. He's a good player. He's a good player, and he's had a number of not this season as such, but previous 2 seasons he's had a lot of injuries that have kept him out a period of time, and it's just halted his progression. Because the season we first got Champions League, he was absolutely superb. He was playing at a really, really high level, and his injuries kind of stumped him. But at this point now, I thought he was 25, but at 26, he's a player that I think Eddie Howe would want to keep. But actually, with PSR and everything, we have to keep moving players on and generate money to bring in other players. And I think that'll be the only reason that Eddie Howe will move him on in January. So it's not a case of, oh, he's rubbish, let's move him on. It's just a case of he's not getting regular football in our team. He's probably 5th or 6th choice midfielder. And so it's a case of let's move him on, generate some money so we can improve the squad in other areas. And that's what it would be in from my perspective anyway.
And looking at it as well, he's 6'1", so he'll definitely help us like height-wise, because we struggle with height in our central midfield slots, because like Daichi Kamada, Adam Wharton, Will Hughes are not the tallest midfielders in the world when you look at our team. And also, one thing I did see, which is quite interesting, his contract is out at the end of next year, so you could probably get him for a decent price, because he's not going to cost too much with only 1 year left on his contract if you look in the summer, or even if you look now. So it's only 18 months left. To be fair, I think he's a good player, but obviously there's other players that we are linked with that are younger, probably have a bit of a higher ceiling, and those would be my first choice if we were going to look at those kind of players. But to be fair, if we couldn't get those guys, Joe Willock wouldn't be a bad backup signing.
Absolutely. Just to round up, Pete, how do you see Sunday's game going, and what's your score prediction?
It's going to be an interesting one. I'll be honest with you, lads. I struggled to know this season what Newcastle team will turn up. It's been a real, like I say, I keep saying it's been a bit of a mixed bag. I never really know what type of performance we're going to get from our team. But the one thing I can say is that 8 times out of 10, Newcastle United turn up at St James's Park. So what you will look to find from us is a very fast start, a very intense start, high press, high intensity, push you guys back, make you guys make a mistake, and try and get an early goal. We've had a knack of scoring a lot of early goals this season off the back of really pushing the opposition and trying to cause them a mistake. That's what I expect to happen. My question mark will be in the mid part of the game. If we are winning or it is tight, it's a case of can we maintain it? Because we haven't been great at holding a 1-0 lead. We tend to score, go ahead, and then sit back on our 18-yard box, which teams have figured out to be able to break down our low block. So that's the bit for me that I need to see a difference from the Newcastle United team. But you're going to see all action from Newcastle United. As I said to you, Rich, on my channel, so we've had lots of positive news today. Tino Livramento looks like to be in the squad. Trippier looks likely to be in the squad. Sven Botman looks likely to be in the squad. And Elanga looks likely to be in the squad. So those players who have been missing defensively all seem to be coming back, which is a huge boost to us. So I think there's a chance that we'll go all action knowing that we've got those players to come off the bench. Score prediction, I'm going to go, I think both teams will score, but I'm going to go Newcastle 3-1. I think not only can we win because it's at St James's Park, I think we have to. We've dropped too many points. We have to keep winning if we want to be up there challenging. And I'm only kind of going our way because we're at St James's Park. We don't travel well to Selhurst. You haven't travelled well in previous years to St James's Park. So that's kind of why I'm going in our favour. So I'm going to go 3-1, mate. Hopefully.
JC?
We ain't done too well up there, really. I think did we draw? I think we drew up there last year, if I remember correctly. But then I think the year before that we lost 4-0. I think the year before that we lost 3-0.
Last year was 5-0.
5.
Oh yeah, 5-0. See, I just erased that from my memory quick. So it's a 5-0, 4-0, and a 3-0. We ain't even scored up there in 3 years. That's what I'm taking from this. For the banter, I just said 2-0 Newcastle. just to keep the run.
I'll take the
I don't
clean
know.
sheet. I'll take the clean sheet.
I've got a funny feeling, that I say 1-1. Brennan Johnson scores on his debut.
Okay. Come on. Come on.
I'm not expecting anything, but I'm gonna go for the hope that's gonna kill me eventually. I'm going 2-2.
Okay.
Only because Brendan Johnson could start. If he doesn't start, I'm going 2-0 Newcastle.
All I'm saying, is in that when I actually do my predictions, I'm putting a Newcastle win. I need the points.
If Brendan Johnson doesn't start, though, who's going to start ahead of him?
Justin
Devaney.
Right. Okay.
And then you'll have Canvo playing a centre back.
Yeah.
Against your guy. Not gonna end well.
Depends on who it is, whether it's Nick Baltamado or Johan Wieser. We're up in the air. It's like literally a flip of a coin of who it could be. I think some fans think it might be Nick Baltamado because he played the last game at home against Chelsea and scored 2. He did really well there, to be fair. But a lot of fans would prefer Johan Wieser because of his pacing in behind, and he's more of a poacher and a fox in the box. So whipping balls in, his movement in the box is really, really good. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. You've got some good players, Maxime Lacroix, obviously Mark Gay, obvious ones, and Wharton goes without saying. Jean-Philippe Mateta, quality player. You got a real good spine, Dean Henderson as well. Got a really good spine of a team. So it's not a case that we're just going to walk all over you. St. James Park is a difficult place to go, but Palace are a difficult team to play against, as they've proven over the last year and a half. They're a good side.
Yeah, for 60 minutes. Guys, like, share, subscribe. Please do me a favor, go and check out Loaded Mag and UFC on YouTube and all platforms. Please go support Pete and the guys, top guys, humble guys as well, because we know we've seen some dodgy Newcastle fans out there.
Absolutely.
Not from this lot. But yeah, guys, we'll just hope for the best Sunday, I guess. Anything else, JC?
Johnson again, ole.
Up the Palace.
Eagles.